Oh no!
No!
Hey!
Ring!
Hello everyone and welcome to another reaction to Schmoedown right here on Dedicated to Art. I am, as usual, your host, Kees Cornelissen, starting on my phone today because we don't want to take any risks with technical difficulties. So apologies for a little lesser quality, but it's for the better. With that said, we are reacting to the match Eric Zipper versus Haleigh Foutch in what I call Zipper Week because we already saw him compete. And he barely won that one. And I don't know what to think of this one, honestly. Chris, Nico, you're here. What do you guys think about this match today? Singles match.
Well, it's funny because we have two former Anarchy teammates facing off because they were the Crazy 80 Greats, and I believe they were the first Corruption opponents, now that I think about it, from the tournament.
Yes.
So, it's kind of hard to tell where this could go because look, Zip has always been a great support player. I feel, even though technically he was the stronger player in the world's finest, still I feel like he's better as the clutch player. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he does on his own. And whereas Haleigh, she is a solid competitor. You know, she has a good breadth of knowledge. She knows a lot of her stuff, and she has really good niche strengths. But does niche always apply to broad knowledge? And it's all going to depend on how round two goes. Literally.
This is very true, especially if we have a spinners and opponent's choice situation. Anyway, Nico, what are your expectations?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is both competitors' first official singles division match where the end result counts on both of their records,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've seen what they can do in teams. We've seen what they can do in various exhibition matches as well. Now this is where they get to show what their sole amount of knowledge is in the amount of questions that the Schmoedown will allow. So this is going to be a breakout match for these two, or it could be. It could be. I'm just not sure who. We know how hard Zipper's been working, especially with Kaiser now pushing him to his maximum effort. That said, Haleigh Foutch, she's a beast. She's a beast. And, you know, she was in contention for the team's titles earlier this year. Scream Queens was arguably in contention last year before the Anarchy tournament split them up for a short period of time. I might give them a little extra credit than that for crying out loud.
Okay, they're a great mid-tier team. They'll never be a championship team.
Yeah, that's the thing. They lost to the off couple, who then went on to play a number one.
I know the history. But basically, they got as far as they did because Haleigh's a solid competitor herself. So I feel like I feel like this is her match. Although I won't be surprised if Eric wins.
Well, I think this will be down to luck because neither of these competitors are great all-round players that will do well with most categories. But neither of them are like Robert Meyer Burnett or Tom Dagnino, so I really hope we don't get a repeat of that match. I think in round one they'll score a fair amount of points, like 5 or something like that. I hope at least. And then it really does come down to what you get in round two, and then also round three. So luck will probably be a big factor. That's what really I'm expecting. I've no real big expectations about this match because I don't know what is next for these two. Like they'll get to 1-0 in singles. Cool. That's about it. All I know.
My understanding is the winner of this match does get one of the lower seeds in the tournament.
Okay, that's fair. Well, then that's on the line, I guess. We'll just press play in this thing and find out in 3, 2, 1, play.
Ah. Ah.
Oh, hey! I was looking for you. How you doing?
The kid is good.
The kid abides.
Yeah.
Movies.
Yes, Big Lebowski, I got you.
I have been thinking thoughts about, we should be friends.
I thought we were, but cool. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
we should
but like Schmoedown friends, would you?
How funny,
were
because
you
dude,
so inclined? Would you like to be my partner?
Oh, you mean like a team? Like I could be your partner in a team?
Team partner, yeah.
Whoa. Oh.
Teams, like.
I'm gonna have to think about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about it. Of course, yeah, of course.
I was thinking.
That's a cool thing to do. That's cool.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Nah, yeah, we're good. Okay.
All right.
From the wheel.
Brendan, you now have to learn the phrase "Wheel of Morality, turn, turn, turn." Learn it not. He's just listening. We shall learn. Oh God.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Welcome back to the movie.
Danielle's at the
Schmoedown.
desk.
I am Haley Mark Baby Carousel is in the house
Dirty
right now
jokes
here
commence.
today. Danielle Radford is joining me on the desk.
Well,
everyone.
last time
so
it
happy to
didn't
have you,
really
Danielle.
go.
This
so
is
much
a
for having me.
momentous occasion for a lot of reasons because you and I were.
Oh, it's that
we're
new
now
PG
veterans of
rating
announcing
Christian's
this thing,
enforcing.
But we
Sure.
have two newcomers to
Yeah.
the single stage.
Yes,
Now,
absolutely.
Haleigh Foutch versus Eric Zipper. That's our matchup today. Haleigh Foutch, she has a great track record with Scream Queens. Eric Zipper, he's been on a number of different teams, and he's been going through something of his own. But this is going to be his first
I'll just break
singles appearance.
the
What
R
is
barrier
going
right
on
here.
with
Fuck, fuckity,
Z-Man,
fuck, fuck,
the
fuck.
world wants to know?
Ah, there we go.
Well,
Hey.
you know what's going on with Z-Man right now? He's had that crap of a year. He actually said that he wanted to take her on, which is weird because they were at one time, they were put together, they were partners.
In Anarchy,
Daniel,
last year they were put together.
you're making
and
that
he
sound
knows how good she
kinda
is.
sexual.
I don't know. Is this his management?
It's Danielle.
I don't get this choice
Touche.
at all because he knows that this is her first singles match, but he knows that she's good and that she is someone to be feared and respected.
Yeah,
so.
Z-Man really just kind of, I don't know if he's getting in his own way, or you're right, if he's listening to bad advice from his manager, or he's just kind of going through his own little personal thing right now. But
Yeah.
it's not the Eric Zipper that we first knew when we got.
Keep in mind
he
that
landed
this
on the
challenge
main
to
stage.
Haley was made without Kaiser in his
I don't
corner.
wanna talk bad about anyone.
This is
You
true.
seem concerned for him.
I just think he might be running with a bad crowd right now.
Well,
Okay,
to be
he's gonna
fair,
try to make a name for himself in singles, as is Haleigh
Zipper
Foutch,
without
and
Kaiser
it's not
is
just
like
that they're trying to get a good record or defeat
running-
their opponent, obviously they wanna do that,
running
but also
rampant.
a win
Just
here
he
today
doesn't know
is
what
going
he's
to go
doing.
a long way into proving that they
So that's
belong
why it's
in
good
the
that he
ultimate
now has Kaiser.
Schmoedown tournament
He's
that's gonna
taking
be
his
happening
clothes
later
off
on
at
this
random
season.
places.
So I think that a win is going to
You're not
give
gonna let
them
that
yes,
go,
a
are
1-0
you?
record, but more importantly, it's going to give them
Why
a
would
notch in the
you?
belt getting into that tournament possibly.
Everyone's
I'm gonna
trying
have to hit
win
him
this
up and have him
tournament.
come on the
If you
show
get
to
in,
just let him
there's
explain
no
himself,
guarantees,
aren't I?
but it definitely helps their chances of getting moved on up.
If he can
and
get
Jeff
Nico to
Hardy's
just
into
get over
the
it.
Ultimate Schmoedown.
With
Certainly,
Kaiser,
it's not
please.
here
I just wanna
today,
know
although I wish he was.
What was
May he
going through
rest
his
in
mind
peace.
when he
One of
took
the
his shirt
all-time
off there?
greats. I'm not
Does it
one of those,
matter?
but I am going to be announcing here today with Danielle, and we got
Do you
some
wanna
great
know?
interviews. So let's hear from Z
Yes, I
and
do.
Haleigh right now.
Well then, shush to you,
Well,
sir.
here we are. We made it. Can I finish? Sorry.
Hey guys, it's Haleigh. You know me from the Scream Queens. I've played a few events, but this is my first solo match, and I've been wanting to do it for a long time. And I'm so stoked that the person I'm playing is Zipper, my former Anarchy teammate.
Ooh, a rising star, Haleigh Foutch. Haleigh Foutch from the Scream Queens.
The crazy 80 greats try to say that 15 times.
I don't know what happened. We were friends. We got along well, and then it's like when World's Finest fell apart, just like everybody else, she just abandoned me. And now here we are.
Yeah, Zipper and I go back. He was my teammate in Anarchy, and we worked together. So
Are
I
you
got to
happy
know
with
his
yourself?
weaknesses and strengths from
Yes.
the inside.
Oh, sorry, I missed you.
Curious
The
to
Crazy
see
80
what
Greats,
that
the
vibe
Crazy 80
translates
Greats. You're
to
welcome.
in the ring, though, because we've never played on opposite sides, and that's a whole new vibe.
Haleigh Foutch knows her stuff. She knows horror movies. She's got scary knowledge. She also scares me a little. So when we get in there, anything else.
Kayla and I have had a really good run together in Scream Queens. I am excited and nervous not to have someone to lean on, but I just think that makes the challenge that more interesting, that more challenging.
Look, I'm going to need you to start winning matches. I'm going to need you to start pulling your weight in the dungeon, because I'm going to tell you this. Then Harloff will start giving you endorsement deals.
A couple of things I know.
Night Sneakers, they're probably looking for a spokesman. Minute Maid, Raid. These are all things that fit you.
Look, this is my first singles. I've waited forever for it. I'm here to make the best of it. I'm here to win. That's the goal, and that's why I'm here. So, Zipper, my buddy, my friend, ideally would be a stepping stone to my greater victories.
I'm in singles now, and anyone who faces me is about to get zipped.
Cute.
I find it interesting that she's saying he's her friend, but Zipper is just like, I have no friends anymore.
You know there's a reason that Chris left.
Okay, well, Danielle, you
Fine,
see
I
that
guess I'll
again,
finish it.
It's just, where is Eric
Yeah,
head at? There seems to be a lot of people occupying that brain space for him right now, whispering in his ear.
I get
giving him
nothing.
advice.
I get nothing.
You don't seem to like
Okay, that's official. Zip.
Hey! That match.
Yes, that's a great
match.
match.
I don't want to speak bad about anyone, but I don't.
Also, the day that
Some of
Burnett's
these
reign of
guys,
terror
I
starts,
think,
may
are
God have
not
mercy on
playing
our
the game
souls.
for fun the way it should be played. They're not playing it for fun or playing it to win. I think some of them are like genuinely playing it to be mean.
I think we need a higher power than God for that.
Because not only has she always been a big movie fan, and she's been
Xenu!
but I think that getting some victories under her belt alongside Kaylin with
Sean Connery!
quiet confidence about her right now.
Oprah!
When you talk to her, because she knows what her strengths are. She knows the strategy of the game a little bit better. And I think that more
Tom
so than
Cruise!
just regular movie trivia know-how could factor into who wins here today. Who is giving Eric Zipper strategy advice going into this match? Haleigh knows how to play the game. Can Zipper keep up? We're about to find
Anyways, I
all
was
that
saying,
stuff out
now we
right
need to
now.
have
Before
Zipper
we
on
get
to
that,
just
I wanna
to
go to the tail of the
explain
tape.
himself.
Danielle
Zipper, this is your
Radford,
official invite to the Who Cares Anyway podcast. You need to come explain yourself for why you think that's going to catch on, sir.
Foutch, very good at new releases, which is mind-boggling.
Movie Talk regular.
I could see Kaiser making some body bag jokes with it in the future, though.
And super horror buff.
She's a big horror fan as well. So
Bitch,
that's
please.
pretty
He'd want me in the dungeon.
Now, for Eric Zipper, he is an expert at directors and Judd Apatow movies.
Judd Apatow is a director.
He is a director. I was going to.
I'm only giving him one string for that. We are ready to go here. Somebody's going to get their very first win in the movie Trivia Schmoedown Singles League here today.
You love to see
I feel like we're two proud parents right now.
I want to see my baby succeed.
We're going to see somebody succeed. You ready to go?
I am so ready.
Then it's time for the movie Trivia Schmoedown.
He's so excited.
I like getting to announce these things sometimes too, and getting to introduce these two competitors. Here we go.
I love how Chris has like 1 foot out the door for this reaction.
I
kind of do.
Representing the dungeon.
Pretty much.
Eric.
And to be fair, my door isn't arm's length away, so I could be gone quickly as well.
What the hell?
Oh my God.
That's interesting.
That's cool. Okay.
And now I know when I want to be played at my wedding.
Reminds me of early Shinsuke Nakamura when he debuted in NXT. Always had a guy with a violin escorting him to the ring.
Cool.
Wrestling references.
Take a shot.
You were saying something?
Tipped him, I believe, maybe $1.
I wasn't paying.
Well, let's,
And
I
take a
figured
shot for
I
every
would
time Case
class
is
up
addicted
the
to
joint
Nico.
with a little chamber music today. Meet Rawl from the
You
Sioux
get
City
so
Falls
drunk.
Philharmonic.
My vacation cannot come soon enough.
All right, so
We do genuinely
Kaiser
love
has
you, Nico.
connections with the Sioux
Yes.
City Philharmonic.
Yeah, you know when you love to see it. You love to
I
see
just love
talented,
it. If you crap, like all my friends, like you two.
And he has dropped his money.
Eric Zipper kept the tip
He
that
kept the
Kaiser
tip.
had given
And
to
just
Rawl.
the tip.
Just the tip. Okay.
So
Got-
Eric Zipper already making some sort of cash here today. That was one of the more.
Hey, guys,
You know, I almost
we were waiting for this, and then you give her a face palm when she makes it.
Courtesy of Miss Radford when she does tie the knot.
It's an I'm proud of you facepalm.
Her wedding tickets available
Yeah.
on sale now.
Yeah.
And his
Okay.
opponent,
None of this.
representing the Scream Queen, she is Haleigh Foutch. There's Haleigh.
Now see, that's what I like.
Wait,
to
no
see.
teammate?
Someone's wearing sunglasses, but they're still smiling.
Right, a little bit of fun.
I don't know if her teammate works in the building.
Oh boy.
I don't believe she does. No.
I'm sorry. The crowd does not like that. Okay, Haleigh Foutch saying she is not.
He is lighting a fire under Foutch. I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea.
Listen, man, I'm not your friend.
All right, we're gonna try to keep the animosity to a minimum here as we do
Hashtag
have a
not
match to
sponsored.
play, and I'll remind each competitor of the rules of the movie trivia Schmoedown. Since this is
Hashtag
your first
not
official
sponsored.
appearance each in
Joe
a
McDonald.
singles league match in round number 1 of
Actually, I'm
3
totally
rounds
cool with
of
that.
the
Literally, I
match,
go to McDonald's
you
for a
will
sweet
each
tea,
hear
and
8
that's it.
questions. These are questions asked to the field. Each question's worth 1 point. There's no penalty for missing
It's
a
actually
question. There's
good.
no stealing in round number
I don't
1.
ever
As
go
soon
to
as we ask the
McDonald's
question, you have
anymore.
15 seconds to write down your
I don't
best
like it that
effective
much.
answer
I
on the
prefer other
whiteboard
fast
in
food
front of you.
restaurants.
As soon as we ask you by name,
I don't blame you. It's
Like-
not
reveal your
good.
answer, please say your
It's
answer
Like
not good
fast
for
food-
you.
at the same time you reveal what you wrote.
Yeah, fast food restaurants where you eat and you don't,
Your 3 usages
and you're
of
not
JT
hungry 2 hours after
duration
you
of the match.
eat.
You're not sure you heard a question right, you need to buy yourself some time. Use the JTE rule. You also each
I
have
feel like I'm the only one who's genuinely interested in this match.
you see fit.
I'm interested.
Now that
I'm
the rules have
just
been read, I
cracking
will ask
jokes.
the competitors.
My mind's.
Haleigh, are you feeling confident?
I'm a little tired because, you know, I've had a day at work just now and it's like 12:30 a.m. So kind of late.
Ah.
Feeling good. Let's do this.
And let's get ready to Schmoedown.
Woo! Woo!
All right. 8 questions, like I said, in round number 1. Your first one will be administered by Danielle X-Men.
In the category of action adventure, who plays Henry Jones Sr.
Oh, come on.
All right.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
I had a brain fart and missed this once. I'm not doing that again.
Damn Skippy.
Sometimes you gotta give them a little like a boop.
Little point.
Mm.
5, 4, 3,
It's like when your dad pitches to you.
1.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
It is, in fact, Sean Connery. Did Z-Man have it?
Sean Connery.
He's playing games with us already. 1-1, and we're off and running here. Your next
One of my
category
all-time
is
favorite
in the world
movies.
of horror/thriller.
Same.
Horror thriller. And your question is, Tony Todd and Virginia Madsen
Oh.
star in what 1992 horror movie about a vengeful spirit who
Guys.
is summoned by saying his
Oh.
name 3 times into
It's not 3
a
times.
mirror?
It's 5 times.
Yeah, that's a common mistake.
Beetlejuice, this is not.
No.
Nor is it
Crap.
Bloody Mary.
Slumber parties. Women love horror and really creepy things.
Think.
Who prepares for the real world?
3,
What do you eat at Halloween, Nico?
1. Hands down.
Fuck.
Candyman,
Candyman.
Candyman,
Damn it.
Candyman,
It is, in fact,
Candyman.
I
Candyman.
remembered it too late.
It is Candyman.
Remembered it too late.
Candyman.
And I said it 5
Candyman
times.
can.
All right. I've just been told in my ear. that it's
Oh,
actually
right.
5
You should have.
times, not
You
3
should have given
times.
him the hint of
Did either competitor know that?
when I Wonka then.
It came up on Movie Talk not too long ago.
Did it really? Well, then
There we
there
go.
you go. Beetlejuice is 3 times. Candyman, you really got to want him to show up 5
How many
times.
times is Bloody Mary? Bloody Mary is 25 times. You can say it 25 times in the mirror.
She knows. She's
Then you got a Bloody Mary?
by yourself.
God, don't
All right,
wish.
2
Like
to
to
2.
drink?
Both
If you
competitors
drink
are
25
good.
Bloody Marys, you'll definitely see a demon.
Danielle is drama.
Yeah.
Who plays the title character in the 2017 drama Roman J. Israel Esquire?
All right, I'm going to try something.
Gee, this person was only nominated for an Oscar for it.
Roman J. Israel. Who shows up? We can't say. What?
No Esquires here.
Who
I
shows
think
up?
it's him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down.
Denzel?
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington.
It is Denzel Washington.
Denzel
I,
Washington.
I
It is Denzel
had
Washington.
I had
Denzel
Gary
Washington
Oldman.
is a lawyer.
Is he going to show up?
He's come to steal all
No,
of
he
our
won
birthday
the
party
Oscar
cupcakes.
for Darkest Hour.
We move on to animated movies. Movies drawn by hand or on a computer. Your question in the world of animated fare. Which Disney animated film has main
Oh, come on.
characters named Judy Hopps and Nick
Adore this
Wilder?
movie. This is my girlfriend's favorite Disney movie.
You're big,
Also, I totally
I
ship
do
it.
love some Disney. I like some Disney.
And I have this movie's main song on my phone.
Animated, but, you know, I'm very very excited to see me.
Try everything.
Yes.
It's a good song.
Zootopia.
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 It is Zootopia. Did Haleigh have it?
Zootopia.
She
There
did.
we go.
Lo and behold, we're halfway through round number 1. We have 2 perfect rounds so far. If either
Don't jinx
competitor
it.
or competitor gets a perfect round number 1, they get all the questions correct. We will ask a bonus question. Danielle, what's our next category?
In the category of fantasy sci-fi, what was Gollum's original name in the Lord of the Rings films?
Come on.
Good question.
Pete.
Yeah, it was Pete.
For a regular league question.
Pete.
Yeah? No. That's a fair round 1 question.
Creepy Pete. 5. 4.
I know, obviously, Case, for us, this is super fucking easy.
I'm just going to put a joke answer and say Dobby.
Smeagol.
It is Pete Smeagol, yes. The Zipperhead.
Smeagol.
They do have Smeagol as well.
Well, I mean, Smeagol's his name, but Pete's what his friends call him.
Creepy Pete Smeagol. Okay.
Pete Smeagol.
Your next category, I'm already laughing, and it's good because it's comedies. Oh, boy.
Seems great.
Comedies, your question
Yes, it is.
Which historical figure does Amy Adams portray in Night at the Museum of the Smithsonian?
Ah!
Was this the third one?
Yes.
No, the second
Shit, I
one.
didn't see that one.
Shit.
Oh.
I feel like museums are only for
I'm
dates.
blanking on it.
Does Dodger
I
Stadium count as a museum?
It actually kind of does.
I'm going to take a total guess.
Wembley definitely does.
2.
So glad I remember this.
Down.
I don't like this
Seaman, what
movie,
do you have?
but
Amelia.
Amelia.
Yeah.
It is Amelia Earhart.
I had Betsy Ross.
All right.
All
Damn
got
it. I should have.
They are neck and neck here.
I just watched this movie.
Now I remember it too. Yeah.
Well, now you know why they work so well in Anarchy, because they are, as they would say, simpatico.
It was just a shame they hate each other now.
I'm impressed.
Oh.
Okay, well,
don't like
it's not a family kind of match here, but we got
As am I.
Danielle, what's
And I knew this would be a good match for
He
them.
directed the 1985's The Goonies.
Someone just dropped a frying pan.
their beer? You know what that means, 10.
I hope it's him.
We need more protein. We need some protein. Someone's gotta-
Well, at one time in this man's career, we believed a man could fly.
3,
Oh, shit. Got it.
1. Pens down. Haley,
Never
what did you
mind.
come up with?
You're welcome.
Total shot in the dark.
Richard Donner.
That
No,
shot
I
in the
didn't
dark
have
is going to
that.
pay off because that is.
I had a
one point that
poorly
Seaman have as
spelled
well.
Robert
He did.
Zemeckis.
They are just neck and neck.
Look at
It's almost as if someone cleaved one brain in half. It makes
How'd
me
you
so
spell
sad they're
that,
no longer
Nico?
best friends, because this is
I don't even want to.
He already erased it, and I didn't see.
All right, your
I'll have
last
to check the
category
replay on this
is
one.
a Patreon question. The following question comes to us from Jake Hammer.
Hey, it's the hammer.
Hammer.
Jake,
what a
Dropping
name.
the
one of
hammer
all-time
down.
great Schmoedown
He's
Patreon
back.
supporters. If you want to hear your name read on an upcoming movie trivia Schmoedown match, just check out the Schmoedown Patreon today. Select which tier is right for you. In the case of Jake the Hammer, he wanted the category of movie quotes. Movie quotes today. Things said in movies. And Jake's question. And keep in mind, if the competitor gets this one right, they do have a perfect round number 1. What 2004 sports movie has the quote, "Nobody makes me bleed my own blood"? Nobody.
Oh, where?
Audience
Goodness.
giggles
Oh.
because they're so drunk they're dropping.
Oh.
their clothes on the Okay, Zipper and Haley now writing. I want to see 2 perfect rounds.
I want to see 2 perfect
I have no clue.
3,
Please.
Can I get a repeat?
I don't do sports.
certainly.
Mm.
What 2004 sports?
Oh, and we'll talk about this later tonight on the
Oh,
show, but
shit. Shit.
R.I.P. R.I.p. Rip Torn.
Shit.
One of his
Shit.
TV rules, he does have 2.
Just remembered it.
Haley has not used those yet, and we don't even know if Haley's blinked because she's wearing sunglasses. Okay, seems like the answers are in.
And I didn't need Chris's hint for it.
3, 2, and 1.
Dodgeball.
Seaman, what do you have?
Blades of Glory?
Dodgeball, a true
It's
underdog
not
story.
Blades of Glory, no perfect
I
round
should
for
have gone
Seaman.
with
Does
that.
Haley have it?
Is it dodgeball?
It is
Haley
Dodgeball!
has it.
Is it bad that I would
A true
challenge that?
underdog story.
And this is a true
Because she
underdog
doesn't have the
story.
subtitle in
Both of
there.
these competitors, 2 great round number
Eric
1s, and
didn't,
now,
so
Seaman, you
I
can
say
take
give her
a
the
quick
point.
smoke break because there's a bonus question just for Haleigh Foutch. Haley, you don't need to write this one down. You just answer it whenever you feel like you know what it is. Danielle, you may administer the bonus question at your leisure.
Which film gave Meryl Streep her most recent Oscar nomination?
The
All
Post.
of them. Just all of them.
No, The Post is the most recent one. Undeserved, in my opinion. Wasn't that good in it.
I would have gone with Florence Foster Jenkins, but it's The Post.
It's The Post.
The Post.
It
Oh my God,
is
that was a movie.
The Post.
Yeah.
It was a
Not that good of a
movie.
movie.
Yeah, the
These are
Academy
all
didn't want
movies.
to get out too much
this is the
love
movie
by
trivia
putting
Schmoedown.
Allison
These
Williams
are all
in place
Names
of
right there on the
Meryl
shield.
Streep.
And
But
we move
Or
to round
nominating
number
Tom
2
Hanks,
this
who was
three-round
definitely better in
movie
that
Schmoedown
movie.
match here today with a highly contested matchup. Haleigh Foutch.
to be fair, though,
8,
2017
Eric
was a
Zipper,
stacked
7.
year for
Round number
supporting
2 is upon us.
actors.
This is the wheel round.
Actors,
Fade
yes,
Dude
and actresses, no. That's why Streep got the
in
nom.
round
Yeah.
number 2. Each competitor gets a spin at that their wheel. You get opponent's choice, the fan favorite, and the spinner's choice, the competitor favorite. You also have 10 categories of movie trivia know-how. Whichever one you settle on, you're going to hear 4 questions from that genre. Each question's worth 2 points. There's no penalty for missing a question. There is no
I
stealing
lowballed it.
there is stealing.
Yes, you did.
I was just testing you guys to see if you're awake out there, because most people
Didn't
tend to go
give
to
him
sleep
enough
remembering the
credit.
rules. Anyway, you can steal.
No, you did
But-
not.
Ask for multiple choice.
But I
Make sure
will
the
I'll
answer, ask us
stick
for
with
multiple
what
choice.
I
We'll give
said.
you 4 options, one of which
Luck.
is the correct one. At that point, the value of the
Yeah, it's
question
getting
goes
down
down
round 2
to
here.
1. Eric Zipper has 2 JT rules remaining.
Because both of these
Haleigh
are,
Foutch has all 3 of hers.
I
You can
believe,
choose
more
round
niche
3,
players,
hopefully
where
not.
they have
Haleigh Foutch,
certain
you
strengths,
find yourself
like
being
myself,
favored in today's match.
strengths that
You're
they're
also
really good
ranked
at,
number 1. Would
and
you like to
categories that they
spin
don't
the
know
wheel
jack
first
shit about.
or defer to the Z-Man?
I will maintain my air of friendship and defer.
Wow. She's trying to keep the friendship alive.
Classy Haleigh Foutch.
So here comes Zipper. And
That is an aggressive spin.
his spin, Kaiser gets in there.
I guess looking at the wheel also makes it do things. That is a part of
Boo,
the
you
instinct.
Looking like an
suck.
assistant manager in Bad News Bears. He did not take
By the way, I'm
it.
Did
kidding.
somebody give him the car wash clap?
Right, we're looking at maybe actors.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll take it.
Zip that.
That could be anybody.
Famous actors
Yeah,
and
that's
actresses.
Yeah.
Your first question of 4 is, who voiced the spider Charlotte in the 2006 family
Christian's
film,
favorite, Julia Roberts,
Some errant woos.
with Dakota Fanning as Fern.
Is it A. Sandra Bullock, B. Julia Roberts, C. Meryl Streep, or D. Helen Mirren?
Julia Roberts.
I think you guessed, and I think you got it right. That's a point for
good
Zipper.
guess.
All right.
All right, Kaiser in the back clapping like he
tied.
did in England.
He managed. Next question. What classic Hollywood actor directed and also starred as Davy Crockett in 1960's epic The Alamo?
What?
John Wayne?
Sure. I have no idea.
John Wayne.
2 points.
Holy shit!
Damn! Well done, Nico.
He's a good
That
guesser.
is amazing. Wow.
All right, your next
What
question.
a
Eric.
guess.
Look at
man.
you.
Who played Bruce Willis's wife in the 1999 film The Story of Us?
Oh, if you go so much,
Question
I'll
come up
know it.
recently.
Multiple choice.
Is it A. Michelle Pfeiffer, B. Meg Ryan,
It's Meg.
Joan Allen,
No,
D.
wait.
Goldie Hawn?
I feel like this
I think
question
it's
came
Joan
up
Allen.
before.
Joan Allen.
Not so lucky that
Goldie
is
Hawn, I think.
correct. Haleigh, for the steal, your options in multiple choice.
I'm just not
A.
going to guess
Pfeiffer, B.
anything
Meg
because
Ryan,
it will
C.
just.
Joan Allen, D. Goldie Hawn.
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Give her a point.
Whatever.
That
No.
is a solid steal.
It's a big steal
Still
because
has all of her JTEs left
Uh-oh.
she is within 1 of Eric.
That woman at this point, that Zipper realized
He fucked up.
he fucked up.
Eric, your last
Because seriously, famous actors and actresses, who takes that?
famous actors and actresses that have had some acclaim and
A
probably
very ballsy person.
Scarlett Johansson and Rebecca Hall fall for the same man in The Prestige, and what other movie?
Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
He got that.
No
Damn.
hesitation, no way.
Okay.
Brings Denzel.
She brings Denzel.
All right, it's 12
Ah,
to
you
9.
wanted
Eric
to
Zipper
say
leading the lead.
Barcelona, and
Haleigh
that's kind of
Foutch.
fucked up to say.
That's right.
I'll say, plus, I
All right,
already did the
Haleigh,
whole
you're
repeat
up
the film
at the
title
wheel,
20 times thing
and
earlier today.
Even though it was a nice final answer there by Zipper, he only has a 3-point.
Candyman, 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 Candyman.
She could have
I
a
did
big
that.
lead going into
Okay,
round
but for real, why is that not a
We'll see
rap
what
thing?
happens. As the wheels spun,
It's a good
round and
solid
round it
spin.
goes.
Oh, but that spin gets a clap? Okay.
Yeah, Zipper, because people like her.
I don't think she has to worry about that.
Oh.
She could get spinners.
Oh,
Oh.
damn.
Comedy.
How many of these
That's
brought
also.
again?
That's also.
Again.
category. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay, she's
too
going to choose
broad.
to spin again. She's going to do another
Spinning
spin.
away from comedy, spinning away from our life profession.
It's literally the only thing that either one of us at this table cares about. It's fine. We won't take it personally until we do.
Oh, that's the strength of her.
That's the
big
strength.
spin.
What a
Okay.
This is a spin of fate.
Oh.
As much as we do love our comedies, I think for Haleigh
Interesting.
Foutch, she's a regular on Movie Talk, like we said, Collider.com, a bunch of other places you can find her writing on the latest movies, and now she has spun new
Where is
releases.
this going to go?
That is pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
So 4 questions. Danielle will be administering your new release questions. Each one is worth 2 points.
Number 1, who plays Cassius Cash Green in the 2018 dark comedy Sorry to Bother You?
Lakeith Stanfield.
Lakeith Stanfield?
That is correct.
All right.
Wow.
She pulls 2 within 1 of the zipper.
She answers the next question. She takes the
John
lead.
C. Reilly and Steve Coogan shared the screen twice in 2018. One film was Stan and Ollie. What was the other?
Holmes and Watson.
Watson.
Multiple choice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, was it A, Holmes and Watson, B, The Sisters Brothers, C, Ralph Breaks the Internet, or D, Hot Air?
I haven't seen it.
The internet?
Don't.
Correct. So for the steal,
Holmes and Watson?
it was Holmes and Watson. There you get a chance to give him his options. He knew that one.
I'm
And so
very
that's
happy that I did not see that one. Winner of most Razzie.
Here for Haleigh.
In game night, Michelle thought she had hooked up for a one-night stand with what
Damn it.
celebrity?
Denzel Washington.
Yes.
Denzel Washington?
Wow.
That is correct. What a
I
Denzel
think-
heavy
Yay!
game.
Jay,
It's a
Israel.
Denzel day
Jay
here
Israel
today.
Esquire. Don't forget the
It
Esquire.
is.
That's how the thing you get when you're a lawyer.
Seriously, if one of them picks Denzel Washington as a category in
Every
round
question
3,
is Denzel.
I think we
I
have
will
to
die
show
from
them
laughter if that
his name,
happens.
so you'll laugh.
By nerds. All right.
last question.
Who played King Orm in Aquaman?
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is correct. It is not Denzel Washington.
It is not Denzel. It is
Damn.
Patrick Wilson, and now we have a 2-point
A great
lead
actor.
going in to round
Who
number
just
needs-
three,
who
the
just
round
needs
that will
better
decide the
movies.
match. What a beautiful
Like The Conjuring.
Yeah.
played, played match.
But
by
don't put him
these
in DC
competitors,
movies.
Eric
That doesn't
Zipper
work.
And Haleigh Foutch. Zipper taking famous
He was
actors,
really good in
Haleigh
Watchmen,
saying,
though.
You know what?
He
I
was
like
good
you,
in
I
Watchmen, but
respect
just-
Danielle and Mark's life choices, but I
But
think
yes.
that on the
Not
spin against
in
you guys,
Aquaman.
it certainly paid off.
But no, his better work is in stuff
These
like
are two
the
competitors
Conjuring
who are
films.
clearly a match for each other.
Yeah,
It is a
horror
darn
movies.
shame that they can no longer
Like, also
see
don't put him in
face to face
Alien,
because
like, for
really it
all
is
of
as
2
if
seconds.
someone
Yeah,
took a
yeah,
beautiful team and
Remember that?
cut them in twain.
Yeah,
I
but I'm
prefer
gonna
not
start
to.
part ways with you here now
I
because
prefer
I like
not
the fact that
to.
Eric.
I,
Sean,
I like that movie a lot, but what the hell? That's not why you cast Patrick Wilson in your
Because
movie.
in round number 3, somebody's getting a win, somebody's getting a loss, and somebody's getting a lot closer to the ultimate Schmoedown tournament. Here's how round 3 works. Each competitor is going to hear 3 questions. Your first question is worth 2 points. Your next question is worth 3 points. Your last one, should we make it that far, is worth 5 big points. Here's how we get those categories.
Okay.
Is you the competitor.
I suddenly understand why this match is not an undercard for another match, but it's its own thing. Because it's actually a pretty good match. I didn't expect that.
Your first question is worth 2 points. Your next one's worth 3 points. Last one is the 5 points.
Yeah,
So,
Nico.
Haleigh,
Yeah.
You have a 2-point lead over Eric Zipper, which allows you to pick your.
I have faith in good things happening. That's all I'll say.
All right, shut
All
up.
right. Well, then, do you have faith in me getting the lottery numbers right? Thanks.
13 and
Okay,
7.
sticking with the 17, I believe.
17.
I don't play the lottery that much.
Sticking with the double.
I like.
Ooh,
He seems like a nice
Accurate.
the pitiest of
Who
breads.
plays the double-crossing casino owner Willie Bank in Ocean's 13?
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
That is correct.
All right.
Pacino.
I was resisting the urge to say Dunkachino
And now, hey.
from Jack and
okay.
Jill.
Wait,
Nico, get off this call.
10.
You'll never be on this show again.
Selected for you 2 points. And that corresponds to Angelina Jolie.
How dare you, sir?
All right. And your question is.
Have
Who
no
provides
shame.
the voice of Master Shifu, the trainer
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman. Yeah.
in the Kung Fu Panda franchise?
I would have gotten there,
Give
but
her
you
2
guys,
points
you
and
guys
give her
have
the
been
lead once
studying
again.
on this.
We go back to Eric Zipper for his three-pointer. Eric, against my advice, went double digits and chose 12.
It's gonna suck if I get this wrong now.
So 12 for
Okay.
your three-point question.
For 3 points, in the 2015 comedy Unfinished Business.
Oh, the category is.
Wait, what category?
The category is
Comedy?
Tens.
Oh.
In the 2015 comedy Unfinished Business, Vince Vaughn goes on a memorable business trip with his 2 employees. Name one of them.
What?
Owen Wilson?
All I'm picturing is like
Some of that confidence.
BJ Novak, Adam Devine, Adam Scott, like bland, funny actors.
Never even heard of this movie.
Me neither. And I like 2015 a lot in terms of movies. So
Hell, I think
It's weird.
2015 was the best year of the decade for film, but man,
what the hell is with this movie?
I'll just stick with my answer. Adam Scott. What the hell?
Repeat the question.
That's his last JTE rule.
In the 2015 comedy Unfinished Business, Vince Vaughn goes on a memorable business trip with his 2 employees.
I think Zipper should have just taken the hit and gone for the 5. Now he's got no repeats.
Yeah, I probably should have.
Yeah. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Michael Cera.
Incorrect.
That is incorrect. We were
Either
looking
Dave
for
Franco or Tom Wilkinson.
Yeah.
But Dave Franco has personality. Why was he in this
I
movie?
100% forgot about that.
On his second JTE
You need a paycheck?
I was like, oh, I have seen that
Yeah,
movie.
fair enough.
Oh, you did?
It had its moments.
I forgot about it.
All right, well, nobody's
You
going to
have
forget about
some.
this match because this has been an all-timer here, and it could elevate itself even higher if Eric Zipper is somehow able to hit his 5-pointer and force the hand once again of Haleigh Foutch. Eric, I believe you selected number 3 for your 5-point question. And
Okay.
Danielle, what category did he get stuck with?
That is in the category of words.
Bye, Zip.
Okay, we're done.
Bye,
done.
Zip.
Ooh, boy.
Fine.
Okay. A little bit of that armor starting to crack. In The Big Sick, Kumail Nanjiani plays himself. Who plays his girlfriend/wife, Emily?
Ah.
Zoe Kazan.
I
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
5 points. Kumail is a
Also,
nice
Zipper
boy.
has
He
joined the
is
club
not gonna
of
let
people
Haleigh off the
who
hook that
score
easy.
20 points or
Haleigh,
more in a singles
is
match.
really going to have 2 chances here. She can tie it with her 3-pointer, but we know
Respect.
Haleigh, we know she wants to do more than just tie it.
Not a lot of
She
people
wants to
do
win
that.
This thing. So, Haleigh, for your 3-pointer, you selected number 13.
Yes.
And that corresponds to fantasy science fiction. And
Okay.
your question.
Can be a lot.
Points to Ty Zipper. Who plays the villainous Miss Baron in 2016's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children?
You could say he's a bad motherfucker. Samuel L. Jackson.
She doesn't have it.
Go 5, 4, 3,
Repeat the question.
2. I can do that. Who plays the villainous Mr. Baron in 2016's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children?
Samuel L. Jackson?
We are tied
Wow.
at
We are
20.
tied. MF.
And now
MF-er,
she has
MF-er,
also joined
MF-er,
the
MF-er.
club.
No,
She can get
Samuel
to
L. Jackson.
25, by the way.
Sam Jackson
And
has
win
been
the game.
through a mirror in the bathroom here
Yeah,
in the
but-
studio. And in the
Yeah,
meantime,
but
we just
25,
have the best
dude.
matches of the year brewing because it is 20 to
So
20.
either she has
Eric
one
Zipper
hell of a
and Haleigh Foutch.
debut,
The only difference
or we
being
go to
Haleigh
sudden
Foutch
death.
still has a question remaining.
And 2 for JTE.
Is it gonna
She
be
gets
good
it
for you,
right.
Chris?
Haleigh Foutch
Sudden death.
wins and has a very convincing
my board ready.
1-0 record to Eric Zipper's what would be an 0-1 record. If Haleigh misses this, we go into sudden death overtime. All right, Haleigh. So for your 5-pointer, you selected number 17, and Doug Williams' number corresponds to Disney movies.
Well, I'm going to put these down now.
And your question for 5 points.
God damn it.
In the film Moana, what is the name of the goddess that has her
Rafiki.
heart stolen by
Rafiki.
Maui?
That's difficult.
Not really. They say Heart of Tafiti like 20 times in the movie.
But you could forget it if you've only seen it once or twice.
Lord knows I've forgotten it a million times.
In Moana, what is the name of the
I've seen it 3 times. The fact that I remember is, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Well, I'm just a Disney fanatic, so of course I know it, but...
Also, Tafiti is the goddess, and Taka is the monstrosity.
Yeah.
In Moana, what is the name
Yeah.
of the goddess that has
That
her
of it.
heart stolen by Maui?
Uh-oh.
I'm not grabbing it just yet. Let's see.
5, 4, 3.
Let's take this to sudden death.
2.
I don't have it.
Hey,
All right,
looking
look at
forward
the
to
time.
Tafiti.
Sudden death.
Tafiti
Tafiti.
is Tafiti. That's a tough.
That is a tough
It's a tough
one.
5 points.
Sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg.
Guys are giving some very timely advice from 1984's Karate Kid to Eric Zipper, which is not actually going to play into this match because we're just still doing movie trivia. Although it is sudden death, here's how the rules work. It's going to play out very similar to round number 1, except the stakes have exponentially grown. We're going to ask a question up here at the answer to the field, and you write down your best attempt at an answer on the whiteboard. Once we ask you by name to reveal your answer, show us what you wrote. At the same time, you verbalize it into the microphone. If you both get it right, then we move on to another question. If you both get it wrong, we move on to another question. But should one of you get a correct answer and the other one not, the correct answerer is the winner of today's match. Do you all understand the sudden death rules as I have read them to you?
Yes.
All right. Now I'd like to point out that was not with the aid of a teleprompter. All right. So as we move on to sudden death, Danielle and I are going to take turns asking questions. We're not going to tell you the category that the question is in, just so you all know. We're just going with the movie. Question. All right. Your first question in overtime sudden death. Who plays Sacha Baron Cohen's brother in The Brothers Grimsby?
Shitty movie.
Very.
It's just such a different kind of game when you don't know what the
Love this actor though.
Oh, yeah. Great actor.
It's been a while since we've had an overtime match. Really good.
Even if you didn't give me one of the most cringy scenes of the decade.
Oh yeah.
1. Pens down. Going to you first, Haleigh.
Mark Strong.
Take me
Answer.
home. Country
Okay.
roads.
Did Eric Zipper have it?
Mark Strong.
And
He wins.
Wow.
in overtime, Eric Z-Man Zipper
Huh.
has defeated Haleigh Foutch in what I would consider to be a
Classic match.
violinist
I suppose the dungeon needed another win.
Again, probably by the same money that was tipped to him initially.
I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah,
just that
after
money where you pick it
1
up,
out
there's
of
just
3
a
at the
space
collision,
in the
yeah.
middle reminding you that you can buy a house that you can't afford because this isn't
It
real.
is Zipper Week.
Look, if these matches
It is.
for monetary value, we'd both be buying a mansion in Malibu off it because what a competitive down to the wire sudden death epic
Amazing.
this was by 2 new competitors in a single scene. Danielle, what's your review of Haleigh and Eric now being in the world of the Schmoedown Singles League?
Well, Eric Zipper, obviously, he came in and he knew that he was confident. He had his people around him. I feel like there were a few times where his confidence did start to slip because you cannot overlook Haleigh. Haleigh is an amazing competitor. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what she does in the future. This is one of those scores where it is deceptive. It is deceptive to say, you know, it's a 0-1 or a 1-0 because this came down to the wire.
Past the wire.
Past
we
the
went
wire.
Straight to overtime.
To the limit,
redlining
to
it.
the wall.
What a matchup it was. An interview with Eric Z-Man Zipper, the winner, and the loser, Haleigh Foutch, is imminent with her own Jen Sturger. Jen, take it
No,
away.
Danielle.
Oh, Haleigh, I thought you had that.
Me too.
The minute you landed on new releases, I was like, it is over. Because that's what you do for a living.
I know, but I missed one. I don't know. That was a really, really painful loss. That stings.
Were you surprised he hung on and took it to sudden death?
No. I think Zipper's super smart and a really good player, and I wasn't underestimating him at all. I'm just frustrated with myself.
Why? Well, what struck out to you the most in that match?
It's just like how close I was to having a perfect match and then missing a couple really that chafes. I mean, the thing that like is killing me is like I guess I need to watch more terrible comedies, which is not something I ever want to do. But
You gotta embrace the
Nobody
bro
wants to do that.
comedies if you're gonna land on comedy.
I have neither. I've never seen either of those films, the Holmes and Watson or the Brothers Grimsby. So I need to go watch the like 5% on Rotten Tomatoes comedies.
You know, it's just sometimes it's about finding what your blind spots
Yeah,
are
that
and filling
is-
in
Wonder
with
what
the
Grimsby
people,
has
you
now.
know? Smoke a bowl and and watch some terrible comedy.
It would help
Hopefully
me.
you retain something.
Yes, and it will help me get over this self-rage I'm processing right now.
Oh, but you know what? Looking past that, you and the Scream Queens, you guys are in. You two are in the tournament, the teams tournament. How are you feeling about that?
Oh, shit.
Great.
They are.
I'm
Interesting.
super excited. I thought our last match was our strongest yet, and I'm feeling, I'm pissed at myself right now because I didn't win this, but I feel like I performed really well. So I'm like, I feel good about it.
I see lots of bro comedies in your future as you prep for this teams match.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
I'll suck it up.
you'll get
I
them
guess.
You'll get them next time, all right?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks
See
so
you again.
much.
I'll get you next
And we
time,
are back
Zipper.
with Eric Zipper and his manager Kaiser. Eric, you find yourself in the singles.
I
tournament.
love
You're all
how the
smiles.
violinist
How you
is
feeling?
still there.
I feel good. I
Perfect.
was a little nervous there towards the end.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
weirdly enough, Brothers Grimsby saved me. I even looked that movie up yesterday because I was like, this is exactly the kind of dumb movie that's going to come up.
I was like, why were you looking that movie up yesterday?
Yeah. Mark Strong is in everything, so I just had to be sure.
Kaiser, you
Mark Strong is in a lot. Yeah, and that's
I'm gonna
true.
tell you, unbelievable. I mean, when he hit overtime, I haven't been that nervous since I got caught shoplifting at the Disney
No,
store.
but it wasn't Green
I gotta
Lantern.
tell you, he pulled through, and corruption, huh? They kicked this
And he
kid
is
to the
in the
curb.
DC.
They
in
didn't
the
want anything to do with Eric Zipper, huh?
DCU.
I guess one
And he
man's
was in a good
trash
one,
is another
yes.
manager's faction member. So welcome to the dungeon.
Did you
Shade.
just call me trash?
I'm proud of you, kid.
I am feeling good about being in the dungeon. This is since I've been in the dungeon, I've been winning. So something's going right.
What are you guys doing in the dungeon that's creating these kind of results?
I was thinking Grimsby is a
That's classified
38%.
information, but how about this? We're gonna leave you with some outro music because we've got more work to do. He's a star now.
Okay. Good luck in the singles tournament.
Ocarina of Time! Ocarina of Time! Ah!
All right, well, Danielle, you see, obviously, a very excited Zipper. Getting a little bit more insight into what exactly his strategy has been, courtesy of Kaiser, his manager, as well as him. But Haleigh Foutch, I don't think she's lost any confidence in playing in a matchup like this. It's just, it goes to sudden death, and it's the luck of the question, it's the luck of the category, and it happened to break Z-Man's way, not Haleigh's way. But I think that she's got a bright future competing in the singles league.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see what both of these competitors do next. At this point, there is a possibility the Zipper might be going forward into Ultimate Schmoedown, but I cannot wait to see what Haleigh comes up with next because she is an amazing competitor, and anyone who battles against her, they better be prepared and not take her lightly.
I don't care who you are in the movie Trivia Schmoedown, Ultimate Schmoedown Tournament, you don't want to see Zipper or Haleigh on the other side of that table because you are about to get a matchup for the ages. Thank you all for tuning in to this edition of the movie Trivia Schmoedown. For Danielle Radford, I am Mark Baby Carrots Ellis, reminding you to check out the Patreon, the movie Trivia Schmoedown Patreon. Select which is right for you today, and in audio form, you can get us wherever you get
join
your
us.
podcast. Thanks to our good friends at Himalaya for all the help that they provide day in and day out around this place. And how about a big hand, at least from me and Danielle, to all of our hardworking crew here. What a great, just the best group of guys and gals you could possibly ask for, helping us out behind the scenes and making this thing possible. And the biggest thank you to all of our fans out there watching us, and maybe just as big of a thank you to Brawl, whose actual name is Seth, and he is a very accomplished fighter. The link to his music you can check out in this vid's description. For that, we're going to say thank you.
Oh,
Good night,
God.
we need a nap.
There's 30 seconds left in the video. Never
It's hard
mind.
off.
Yeah.
It's an ad for Jedi Council.
Jeez, what a match. I did not expect that.
Nope.
But I am pleasantly surprised.
And, look, before we let Nico go on his tirade about how, oh, I'm right because you guys always underestimate the support players and the yada, 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 yada. Yeah, it was a good match. It was a great match. Honestly, like if the score was just a little bit higher, not to sound selfish, but yeah, if it was like 27-26, something like that, it'd be a match of the year contender.
Dude,
it was still a great match. One
of them would have broken the singles points record, or tied it with it. So it's like,
like I said, I'm being selfish.
Fair enough. Anyway, yes. Look, I definitely underestimated this match, but while the match was going on, I started to realize there is a reason that this is not just some undercard to a better match. This is a match that stands on its own and that can be published on a Friday. I have found out this year, if they have a shitty match, they will drop that as an undercard somewhere with a good match that they'll like, okay, yeah, this is a match, just watch it, and then get to the good match because, we have a better one. No, but this stood on its own. So I realized that, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, it was a really great match. The fact that they both, as I said, they are now in the list of competitors to have scored 20 or more points in a singles match. You don't really do that often. Any competitor does that. So that's really very impressive. Nico, you're right. Go on.
Okay, here's what keeps throwing me off with you two, is that we're part of this community. We compete as well. Maybe not in the Schmoedown, but we compete as well. And we know the kind of effort certain people put in to get better and better and better for their next performance. We knew Eric Zipper had a rough start to this year, and then since Kaiser took him under his wing, he's been putting in that extra work to get better and better and better. And we knew that Haleigh Foutch was the stronger member of the Scream Queens, and she had some time off in between her last match and this one. That means there's still time to get better and better and better. So I had a feeling this was going to be a strong match where the hard work would show that it had paid off. And where I'm just confused is, did you guys not factor that in and just think you're only as good as your last match? Was that your mentality going into this?
Look, I had no clue what these two had been putting in.
Exactly.
I honestly didn't.
I had zero expectation.
And that's the thing. Sometimes it's better to have very low or managed expectations for the match to pan out great, rather than to think everything and then you have a Robert Meyer Burnett Tom Dagnino type match. Like, I'd rather have my expectations managed with most matches. Of course, when you have a big match, like with Paul Oyama versus Dan Murrell, I know that it will be a very good high-scoring match. Of course that it will be, because they are two of the greatest. But if it's two unknowns in the singles league that we've only seen compete as in teams, and two people that we've only seen as like more support players rather than being the standalone good people. So, by the way, also with your thing about Zipper recently had an Inner Geekdom match which he lost. And that was already when he was managed by Kaiser, already when he had been putting in some work. And it's a lot easier to study for Inner Geekdom than overall movie trivia, because Inner Geekdom is just a slice of movies in history, and the other one is all movies in history. So
yeah. So that's the other thing too. Like I was just pleasantly surprised. So yes, I know we come off as we're being cranky and we're underestimating them and yada 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 yada. And yeah, sure, yes. All three of us do compete in the fan leagues. Case had to take some time off because of his housing situation, but I'm sure he'll be back in the geek league sooner or later.
I'm on a break.
Look, maybe it's just because of my sports background.
It is.
But for me, it's just I see the champs. I see the champs. They're up here. I see the absolute lowest tier competitors. That they're like down in the Earth's core. But and everybody else, I give them a range. I don't pigeonhole them in like one spot. I say they can get to the upper echelon. It'll take time, but they can get there. And sometimes their first solo appearances are the best places to show it.
Also, I think that I'm a little bit more of the mindset where I'm like, and this is not just with Schmoedown competitors. This is with any type of like athlete in sports. In like, I love Formula One. I love football. I've been watching Wimbledon this week, and in Wimbledon, a lot of people thought, oh, they will never reach the semifinals or whatnot. They've reached the semifinals, which is crazy. So, look, it's always possible, but I'm more of the mindset where I'm like, you prove yourself first. First, you show that you can actually get there, and then you'll have my support. But I won't support you up until you show me why I should. And I am glad to be proven wrong in this case. And I have no issue with admitting that, and I have no issue with saying, I was wrong, you're actually great, and I actually want to support you, I want to follow you, I want to see what you can do. So that's...
Yeah,
but you
to
were
be honest,
right.
I want Foutch to, like, knock her next opponent out.
Yeah.
But in case, I will give you this. You were right in that it came down to luck. It came down to the luck of Haleigh. Haleigh got asked questions about movies she hasn't seen. And Chris, getting to your point about hoping Haleigh knocks out her next opponent, it's funny you mention that because earlier this afternoon on Collider Live, one of the matches for New York was announced. It's the undercard match, which I believe is the number 1 seed versus the number 16 seed. It's going to be Haleigh Foutch at number 16, I believe, provided scheduling works out, taking on who I think is the number 1 seed right now, Ethan Irwin.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Look, I would love to see Haleigh do well in that match, but yeah.
Look, because I'll be there in person. Good luck. Don't get knocked out. But
Hey, if she makes Ethan answer a question in round 3, she should be proud of herself.
Yes. Ethan has his weaknesses too. Ethan has his weaknesses as well.
He does.
He does. That's true. And he hasn't been
anything
as
animated
good this year. No, but we've also seen Ethan hasn't been as good this year as he was last year. So there's that. Anyway, I think we should stop this conversation and move on to one thing that was at the very beginning of this video. Bibbs and Meyer are teaming up. Chris, as one of the biggest supporters of Critically Acclaimed, your thoughts?
All right, finally. But here's the thing, though. I just have to ask this. Now, because Brendan Meyer was in a great movie from 2014 called The Guest, and funny enough, Critically Acclaimed recently talked about that movie on the Two Shot, which great podcast, guys. Go check it out. Schmoedown feed. I wonder if their team's gonna be more in tune with that theme, or if it's gonna be or if this is gonna be the official quote unquote revival of the Growling Commandos.
The vibe that I'm getting is that they're going to be very happy and meta about everything. That's
right,
just
fine,
the vibe
Growling
that I'm
Commandos
getting.
it is.
Nico, your thoughts?
Growling Commandos would imply that Ricky Hayberg is coming back. And
okay, no.
I could see it being more like I could see it being like the kid being the Billy Batson to William Bibiani's Shazam in a way. Like they share personality traits, but just one is super older than the other. So
teased with this so much over the last months already. So yeah, finally confirmation. I think it will be a good team. I'm looking forward to their first match. But by the way, speaking of great matches, on the Who Cares Anyway podcast that probably already aired by the time you're seeing this, we are talking about the best matches of 2019 so far, aka the Magic season, aka season 6 this year of the Schmoedown. Because it's been we're a little over halfway through the year. and we've had some great matches. Heck, today was a great match, but it won't make my list because we all have made our top fives, and our top five, believe me, they are stacked. Also, another match that I cannot wait for is Founding Fathers versus Corruption 2. Corruption won the first one because of David O. Russell. What will happen next Monday? I'd say find out next Monday on our reaction as well. Speaking of, guys, I think this was our video. Also, guys, please like the video, comment on anything you saw in the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And Chris, where can people find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Stardust, Letterboxd, Discord, and something else. At Skywalker Doman. All across social media at Skywalker Doman. You guys can follow this very channel on Twitter and Instagram at D2A channel. Please like our Facebook page. And stay tuned for the Who Cares Anyway podcast hosted by me, where we break down, like you said, our top 5 favorite matches of the year so far. And yeah, it's a fun time. I'm sure you're all going to enjoy my lovely little rants about the shit going on in the world. Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, at Nico Suave Regoli, or just Nico Suave with 4 random English numbers thrown in at the end on Discord. Combat Wrestling Trivia on Facebook, Combat Wrestling Network on YouTube. The poorly made Twitter handle is at Combat Wrestling, the number 2. There's no letter G. Rolling Crits or at Rolling Crits on Instagram. We have check out our gameplay videos. They're pretty long, but they're fun. First one is audio. Second one is visuals and audio. Right here at Dedicated to Art or at D2A channel and all the places, Case just said and Chris will say. And 2 more episodes of Crisis on Earthplex. Shut up. 2 more episodes of Crisis on Earthplex over at Multiplex Entertainment with Zaddia Smith, and then we will be off the air.
Also, you can find me at Dutch Movie Guy on Twitter, Case Cornelius on Facebook and Letterboxd, and next week, Rita will be here again, so she might actually appear on some videos. That is, provided that she actually agrees to be on videos. If not, well, then I've teased something for nothing. So cool. Anyway, guys, up until our next video, whether it's the Who Cares Anyway podcast or a reaction, whatever you watch, take care.
Yeah.